It's a little bit.
Oh, there it jumped.
Yeah, it's nice. They kind of look scaly. They kind of look Dragonborn.
A little bit.
It's like
It's more
smooth on
like,
one side and kind of scaly on the
yeah,
other.
they're more like they're just those like swirly dice. I love them. I don't.
Yeah.
I only use them for this though. I don't use them. I haven't. I played. I think I played one game with them when I first got them, and now I only use them for this. I had too many dice. I don't know. I don't have Laura Bailey too many dice, but I have like 10, 12 sets. It's too many.
I wonder if they have like special dice set aside that because you don't know how the swirl pattern's gonna turn out, but the
No, you
ones that were
don't.
like fucking like perfect artisan, well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
random, the
How many
universe went this
rejects?
way,
Yeah.
and they
How
just
many
like,
rejects
we're
there
not
are out
selling
there?
this, we're keeping
Right.
this here.
Oh yeah, good point. I was thinking more the other way, where it's like, oh, these are terrible. We got to throw these away. My DM's brother, his older brother, younger brother, I'm not sure. Sorry, buddy. He makes dice, and he's in Canada, and he makes in Alberta, and he makes dice, and I've seen the pictures of some of them. His new trick is he's putting things inside the dice. He puts like flowers and insects and little things inside of the dice, and then makes them. He showed me some pictures. I'm like, ooh, I might do because he'll do commissions. I'm like, what do I want? It's a spider dice. That'd be kind of cool. The
That would be
jumping
pretty
spider
sick.
dice.
I hate the idea of killing spiders because I really like
Listen, man,
spiders, but
I love spiders too, but they have a very short lifespan, and there's a lot of them. So I have
yeah,
no problem
good
with.
point.
Sorry, PETA. I know all lives matter, but
But also the excuse me, the saltwater test when you have things in there
right.
like that.
Yeah, it kind of messes thing up. There's a company on the internet that makes dice with eyeballs inside of them. Not real eyeballs, but they're like there's fluid. It's not water.
Marbles?
It's not water, but it's like some kind of fluid inside of it that's sort of like slightly viscous, maybe an oil of some kind. And when you roll the dice, the eyeball is weighted, so it always points at you when you look at it.
Oh,
They're really
nice,
cool.
nice, nice.
Really neat. You can get them like cat's eye, dragon's eye, human eye.
So
You
it
get all
always
these different
looks
sort of.
like
It's
when you
always looking
at
up.
the top number.
Yeah,
That's
no matter
pretty
what you
cool.
roll.
I
They're
imagine
pretty
you would
neat.
have to find something that was the same density as the rest of the dice, whatever you're casting it in, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's some what kind of witchcraft they do to make it, but they sold their souls a long time ago to Satan.
Sounds cool though.
That's the only way you could make dice like that. I'm convinced.
Yeah, that soul's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bro, we're on the internet.
Are we on some internets?
We sure are, bud.
Cool. Hey, welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Ben and Gaosheng.
I'm Tim Jung.
And we're Critters in Taiwan. How are you now, Tim? Everything good out there in
I'm
Taiwan?
good, man. I'm good. Things are looking up. We have exams at work right now, and the science teachers get just a lot more time off.
Man,
Because
I'm
we have that
jealous.
one exam we got to walk around for.
What-
The other exams, we just take an extra nap, have a long lunch. It's nice.
Nice. That's amazing. I'd love to. I can't wait for those days soon. Maybe someday soon. Right now, it's just same thing in Taiwan. All the exams are at the same time. So I taught grade 6 today, and they were just not there, not
Yeah.
present,
I think
not at all.
They've started early this year. It seems they just don't give a shit.
No, it's end of October. They're into the exams right now, so they're all just like their brain is elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, guys, we're just gonna chill. Let's do a couple of pages. We'll try and we can drop behind schedule a little bit. It's all good. Let's just chill out. Don't push it.
I also hear from some coworkers that teach grade 6 all the time. This is like the time in their life where they actually have things outside of school that are important to them. They actually get an allowance and they go to a night market or something like that. Whereas in grade 5, maybe a little too young.
Yeah, every week or so, every other week, one or two of them disappears for a couple of days, and they come back with stories. They're like, they come back and they're telling stories to the other kids. And I'm like, where were you going? I was like, oh, we went here, we went there. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Lots
Little
of things
field
change
trips
in
and
grade
stuff.
6 here. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Because at grade 4, it's like they go to school and then they go home for a little bit and sleep because we teach these rich kids, so like their parents don't want anything to do with them, so they send them back to school. That's where the kids live, is at school. But in grade 6, they can actually go out somewhere. They don't have to be babysat so much.
They're almost. It's funny because When my parents were growing up, and me even when I was a little kid, we were latchkey kids. You just sort of you disappeared and you got a key and you were good. There was no problem. Like you can't do that anymore. But these kids like they just disappear. They go out on their own and they're just like wandering the streets in packs of feral children or whatever.
Be safe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always the Tim, dinner. You know, I could be down the neighborhood on a bike or playing in a puddle or something or eating worms or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I grew up in the far northern Great White North reaches of Canada, so it was for me it's similar to you, right? Like just go.
Just find something to do outside. Climb a tree. Don't die.
Come back for dinner, maybe. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't.
Yeah, if you don't hear Dad calling you, maybe you're too far. You might get in a little trouble. Be like, you went too far because you couldn't hear my booming voice in this wide expanse of, what is it? I always get urban and rural mixed up. Which one's out in the sticks?
Rural.
Yeah, so it's rural space. We can't hear Dad. It's like, we went too far. Especially with the wildlife out there, we got to be careful. But, I'm still alive. I'm all right.
Yep.
Anyway, enough about us.
Yeah, we should be talking about a thing. So we're talking tonight about episode number 76, A Gathering of Heroes.
Hey, I love this title, man. I sent you that private message saying like before I even got to the midpoint before the break, I was like, this might be my favorite one so far. I think I might have been like a little excited, but I might still stand by it. But it was just fan service the whole time, and I'm a fan, so I got the service.
I got you. Before we get into it, one quick little thing. Intoxicated Conqueror. Apologies. I mean, sort of. Your typo, but whatever. She posted on our thing. She didn't mean big bars. She meant big bads.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, okay. So we got you.
I think I knew that. Did we respond to Big Bar?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Yeah. I was pretty sure I knew what
apologies.
She meant.
Yeah, that's I was like big bars. I don't know what that means, but big bags. I get it.
I just responded with like the Eyes of Nine, and then what's his name? Ford's fucking sword that he had. The
Ukatoa. Oh, the Sword of Fathoms.
No one said Ukatoa. The one after that, Star Razor.
Star Razor.
He could invoke seeing
see
scribes.
Invisibility. Yeah, see invisibility.
See invisibility. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other big bads did. I mean, definitely. I think you could probably say that Lucian was immune to scrying. I don't remember if Jester ever did, but I think she tried and it didn't work.
I thought they scryed on him, but he saw it every time.
He was
like, oh, hello, guys.
Absolutely right. He was
like, there they are. They're visiting again.
Right.
I think that's the Eyes of Nine, though.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the big bads were immune to it. I mean, I think definitely in this campaign, Lucian is. Ludinus definitely is. Yeah.
There's True Sight, right? Would that reveal it?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Because I think the one that Yasha got abducted by Oban, was that right?
Yeah, he was a
Couldn't he see scries also?
Maybe. No, because they scried on him quite often, and there was no response.
Because that's where he found him, right?
Yeah.
In that dungeon with her, where she's just sitting there. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because they could see her just sitting there, just like following orders. And
yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I forgot about
hey, this was a hell of an episode, man. I was just stoked the whole time from start to finish.
We should probably start at the start then, real quick. So this is some of their. I kind of miss the Halloweens where they dressed up themselves, but I do really, really, really love this Lord of the Rings cosplay. It was great. Some of those wigs,
quite good.
Some of those wigs, I was like, that could be your real hair.
Yeah.
Like Ashley as Mary. I'm like, no, she was
Pippin?
She was Pippin. She was Peregrine. That's right. She was Pippin, and Laura was Mary, and Liam was Frodo, and
Ashton.
Taliesin was Samwise Gamgee.
That's right.
Sam.
Sam's three names coming in. You have to figure out which one's which.
And then it really, I loved. There was some really, really, I'm sure, intentional symmetry, because on the bottom half of the screen it was all hobbits, and then on the top half of the screen was the human, the elf, and the dwarf.
I didn't notice that.
And then you got there's some really cool symmetry in that. And then you had the wizard, Gandalf the Great.
Great, yep, according to Sam.
I wonder I wonder how much trolling that actually is, if he really only watched it once or if he's just being a troll. There's always that little bit shadow of doubt. I'm like, have you? Probably, maybe.
Yeah, if anything, I think maybe Gandalf the Great was maybe trolly, but the fact that he got most of it right, except for when Matthew was like, "Well, you fool of a took," that when he didn't recognize that, like, come on, man. Yeah. Even watching it once, you remember that line.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of trolly going on there. I think most of the fact that he was able to get it is them talking about it as they're dressing up, because for sure,
right.
We've seen on Twitter some pictures of them doing the makeup, and they all do the makeup together in one room or two rooms. So there's some backstage shots that I've seen that have been sort of like, okay, so guaranteed they're talking about it, and he's picking up the names even if he doesn't know it. But hey, whatever. Yeah. So that was the first fun point. But then we got the big one, the real big one, the one 76 episodes, and we finally got the animated intro. Finally.
I want to know how long it took, because there's so much going on in there. Like I've seen it twice now, and like
I've watched it like 20 times. This is
going to be one of my questions for you. What did you see? We don't need rollies for this. Just what did you see?
So I cheated.
I can
a little bit.
and to this too.
Yeah, I cheated a little bit, and I did go on the socials.
I don't think that's cheating. I think that's what this is for.
There was things that I did not see, and I went back and I watched. Like, there is a ton of Easter eggs. Nice. First off, I didn't realize. I was like, okay, that's at the beginning, the opening scene, right? There's the five in the five NPCs, and I was like, yeah, that's Ludinus, and that's Odahan, and that's Imogen's mom. I got those three, but then the two over there, I'm like, big elf ears. I don't get it. Is that a fae creature? I'm like, was that when they went to the Feywild? Is that and who's the tiefling? I have no idea. So I had to go on and figure out, and then I was like, and then as soon as they said it, I'm like, crap, that's too. It was Ira Windigoth, the Nightmare King, and then right beside was Captain Xandus from the airship.
Oh.
It was just kind of interesting, because I'm like, well, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy.
Yeah.
Sort of bad guy, and then good guy. I'm like, well, that's weird. Interesting putting them all in there. Yeah. Then you get into the Red Storm with Imogen. Did you notice who those were?
No, twice watching it. No.
Yeah. Okay. So Imogen sees figures. The very first one, that's Bertram Bell walking in.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, but you got the ponytail and the silver fox. Right beside him, to his right, is Esteros, Lord Esteros, walking into the Red Storm.
Cool.
And then and I caught those two right away. I was like, yep, know who those are. And then there's two more on the left.
Oh, I did see the reaction video, and I did notice them saying, "Oh, that's Bertrand."
Yeah, that's Bertrand. Yeah, and they say, and then there's Esteros beside, and then there's two figures. They don't look back; they just walk into the storm and disappear. And I'm like, who the fuck are those people? Who are those? And I looked on the internet, and I'm like, or the Reddits, and they was like, yeah, those are the Loomis twins. Right from the beginning.
Wow.
They're like, those are the Loomis twins. And I don't think up until that point I realized that the Loomis twins were fraternal twins. I don't know if I ever knew that. A boy and a girl. Okay.
I think I did, because I think I had in my brain that they were boy and girl.
We may have talked about it. I'd just forgotten, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we get.
I know that they were not the same gender.
Then we get a whole bunch of stuff with the character development with Fern and with Ashton and with Chetney and with all of the different things. My favorite moments that I did not see until I went on the internets and saw them is that Fern, you gotta freeze it at the right point. You gotta slow it right down to point on YouTube. You gotta slow it down to 0.25 speed, and then really catch it at the right points, because it is literal frame and then gone. Is Fern pickpockets Ashton twice. It's amazing.
Nice.
It's so fucking hard. So kudos to whoever caught it. But when FCG comes out of his red rage, and he's whatever, and they're all surrounding him, Fern pickpockets him. And
nice.
in that group point, and then on the airship, Fern pickpockets Ashton again. And they're both impossible to see.
Is that relevant to the story and how it went?
It actually happens, apparently. I don't remember these. I remember she tries to pickpocket Ashton all the time, but yes, apparently there was those moments.
And it hasn't happened for a while, but actually now that you mention it, maybe it's nice that he's got that shard and maybe she gets the other one, they have this thing,
Yeah. Well, and then the coolest when FCG when they're in the bedroom in the inn, maybe I forget where it is. FCG comes out of the rage, the red eye rage, and he comes out of it, and Fern reaches over and pulls the pouch out of Ashton's pocket, and Orem.
Oh wow! God,
yeah, it's hella cool. I'm like, wait, that passive perception. Of course he sees it. Like
God,
it's just yeah.
There could be a whole episode just on the intro.
It's so clever. It's so clever.
Man.
The one little knock that I have on the animation, I loved it all. I love the whole thing. The one little knock I have is that their eyes are too calm. When Ashton goes into a rage, his eyes stay bright and wide. When Orem is destroying all of Odahan Thul's shadows, whatever they are, the images, his eyes stay wide and bright and calm. If you focus on all of the characters' eyes, they never really change. And I look at that and I'm just like, yeah, that's not. It seems a little off to me. It seems a little bit too. It's the style of it, but I'm like it's slightly disconcerting to me, to my eyes.
With Orem, I could see that calmness sticking around, but I think he's the only one. You know, because he's like so disciplined and so, you know, so you just be like, yeah, this is just what you do. I'm sorry, guys, that's what you do.
Yeah.
But everyone else, especially the rage. I mean,
it's a little weird. When I watched it a couple of times, and I'm like, Ashton's eyes, they don't go ragey enough for me. Fern's eyes, they're always too bright. Imogen's eyes, her eyes disappear. Like they go white when she goes into her Jean Grey moment and goes up and blasts. And then Laudna's, when she goes into her form, Laudna's eyes are very strange. They're always like sad. Her eyes are always sad, and then when she does the form of dread, they just disappear completely. It's spooky.
That form of dread looks so good.
FCG doesn't emote at all. It's just all just I'm a robot.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I've only seen it twice, but I did notice that weren't his eyes the same size in this animation?
Yeah,
because they're not supposed to be. One of them's supposed to be bigger.
Yeah, that might just be like the fan art. That might just be the
No,
thing.
that was him saying it when he introduces his character. You see these big
really?
blue eyes, and one of them's bigger than the other. You know, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
In the first episode.
Yeah, no. In the animation, they're definitely the same. I didn't pick up on that.
And all the not fan art, but the character art and stuff like that, and the little plushies. One of them's bigger. He doesn't specify which one. I don't think, but
I don't know.
Yeah, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, hey, all this attention, but not this. Come on.
There's another quick little Easter egg that's really obvious, but I was like, I caught it. I'm like, what does that even mean? And then I went back and watched. I'm like, oh, it's when Laudna in the intro, when Laudna is creating pate. Did you notice that it flashed and she became pate and Laudna became Delilah?
No, I didn't really catch that. No,
it's neat. So she's under the tree and she's like puppeting pate with strings, and then
blood strings or something, right?
Yeah, it's creepy. And then for a quick second, it flashes, and Laudna is suddenly the doll. She's a little doll, and the strings are gone, but the figure that is holding it, and you can't see the face. It's like chin down, but you can see purple glowing energy. So it's clearly Delilah.
Nice.
But there's no strings.
That's amazing.
It's a fun little Easter egg. It's a cool one. Go back and take a look at it.
I got some chills on that one. That's pretty sick. That's a nice move. Yeah, those animators are the same ones, right, as before? Except I think there was a new name that I didn't recognize.
No, I think it was the Paquitas. Yeah, I think it's the same ones.
Yep. Yeah, because when I heard those names again, I was like, oh, perfect, because it's the exactly what we're all looking for, you know?
Yes.
And I'm sure more Easter eggs are going to come up, and as things change, I'm sure they brought other things that are going to change, just like the second campaign.
Yeah, because the ending is the Malleus Key, the big shot of their bloody bridge, the Malleus Key into the bloody bridge, and I'm assuming that although who knows, like 76, we'll see what happens. Like we're going to the moon soon, right? So
very soon, yeah.
It's very soon. So we might be in final arc or two. It could be, although there's no real arcs in this campaign 3.
Not really, no. But you know, when FCG gets in touch with his god, the Changebringer, they say dark days are ahead of us all. You know, it's like, there's two ways to look at that. It's a god saying that, but also we have learned that these gods are kind of like our parents. Once you find out they're just people trying to get through life as fucked up as we are, you know. And gods are like, they also said she seems a little distracted, you know, because they're trying to take care of some stuff. And like, yeah, no, I got you, but I'm a little busy, you know. Like, you'd think of like, I guess basically in growing up in North America, basically you think of gods as being omniscient, omnipotent, you know, like they take care of everything all at once, but it's like, no, these are not the same as what we grew up with. This is a gaming world god.
Yeah, where the gods are more like the Asgard gods, where
they have lives,
more like
they have relationships.
They're more like, well, yeah, they're clearly way above mortals, but they're still they're not immortal, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, they're not omniscient, they're not omnipotent, they're maybe fallible. That was it
quite fallible. I mean, if you play God of War, geez.
It was last episode, right? When they got the vision of the gods being chased away by an infinitely long red horizon sort of thing. The light that was Von Trevier's vision, right?
Yeah,
where they were being chased away by a red glow, a red thing that was chasing them. It's like, okay, yeah, so they're clearly, they could leave.
Yeah,
I mean, shit.
Yeah, there's the God Eater, you know, that nobody seems to want to talk about. Yeah, they're fallible. I think after. You know, like I said, playing God of War, you know, you meet the gods, and it's like, wait, you can kill the gods? Be like, yeah, gods can die, man. They're just, they're immortal, but they can die. That doesn't make any sense, but, you know.
Well, they can't die. They can't die by themselves. They can be killed.
Okay, then maybe that's the best way to put it.
Right?
Yeah,
like
they can be killed, but they can't.
They'll live
keep
forever
living unless somebody kills them. Yeah,
you're right. Right. Okay. Hey, should we get into some rollies?
Yeah, let's get into some rollies. All right, jeez.
I got a couple of things to say. I got a lot of notes, but not a lot of questions. This was a summary episode. It felt like to me. I got a lot of cool things, but we'll see. Okay.
Super great fan service is what it was.
Well, very much.
All right, rollies. I'm gonna lose a lot because my Ford die won with a 5.
19.
Why my yes and to this is gonna explain the difference between these two numbers. By the way, go ahead.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to start right at the very top when they get to Whitestone. They get to Whitestone,
which was so cool. I love it when they go there.
Yeah, it's fun, right? Matt's Percy is fucking bang on.
It's perfect.
He nails it.
It's
the
so
accent,
good.
the accent isn't Tal's accent, but the mannerism is fucking bang on. Bang on.
Yeah.
I was a little sad we didn't get to see Vex at all. I was kind of surprised. I was like, I figured that we would, but it's all good.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was waiting for it and it never happened. So we get to the big table in the workshop. We get to see, so Percy's there, Verna the Viper, Imahara Joe, Dancer with her automatons, and we get Allura. 3 campaigns in a row. Yeah. Everybody gets to meet Allura. I thought, I'm like, that's cool. That's a fun one.
It's great when they all started realizing, they're like, when they heard the voice, they were like,
Travis got it first. I was watching the reactions, and like Travis is like, you can see it. The other ones were like, oh, and then like, oh, everybody else caught it, but Travis was first. I was watching.
Yeah, it was kind of gray hairs, but shocks of blonde. And Travis was like, oh. And then he was like, and you have these braids coming down. He's like, oh.
Yeah. Yep. That was good. So here is my thing. And it's sort of I see this one as a big turning point. They arrive there, they meet everybody, and they're like, oh, you finally did the siphon thing. Okay, cool, that's neat. The rest of them, they're all sort of like looking, and they're all like, yeah, okay, you're just a bunch of chuckle fucks, you know, you've done this thing. Okay, you gathered all of us, we did this thing for you, blah blah blah. As soon as they drop the fucking the crystal on the table, I fully believe this is a turning point in this campaign. Okay. For Bell's Hells. This is a literal and metaphorical moment where they actually have a seat at the adults table. So they're all sitting around this workshop table,
they've earned that respect.
Suddenly they've earned some respect. These are not just a group of random adventurers. They'll be powerful, but still just a group of adventurers. I could sort of tell in Matt's mannerism as he's playing all the NPCs, Allura in particular, but even Percy with his fucking curmudgeonry. Matt
curmudgeonry.
I don't know if you can do that to words, but I choose to. His emoting and his sort of mannerisms, the way he was working the NPCs shifted subtly with some of them. But I really think this is a turning point for Bell Cells, where they suddenly are like, yeah, hey, Taliesin was definitely pushing for it with Ashton. He was definitely like, being a little bit more of, I'm a fucking hero. I'm not just an idiot.
I dove into lava for that shit.
Yeah.
Which we found out that's not how it works, but whatever, it's a story.
Or not, we don't need to go there. So yeah, that's sort of what I got from that. I saw this as a moment of a thing. And I think that's sweet, going. I think that gives them some form of momentum where now they can channel it into actually being competent scouts for the moon.
Yeah, well, I think there's a whole lot more confidence in them, because I mean, I was with you on that. Like when if Allura wasn't there, I don't know how much they would understand about this gleaming crystal of a Titan, or an Empress Titan. I always get her name wrong. I always went Comorda, but that's not her name.
No, Comort,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is where
and then she recognized it kind of right away, but then she also did something with Ashton a little bit later.
Identify on both of them. She did an identify on the shard, and then did an identify on Ashton.
On Ashton, or the thing on his
whatever
head?
The thing in his head is, right? You can't do identify on a person.
That was pretty cool. That was interesting as hell.
Ooh, we got some lore there. That was interesting. I mean, fucking guy, right? Like 76 episodes, and he draws the picture of the beacon. He's like, yeah, I dream about this sometime, and everyone's like, what? You what? Like Taliesin held on to that. It never
came up,
not once. That's the first time why would it? Right. But Taliesin's been holding that for 76 episodes. I'm like, you little fucker.
It's like, give me some paper. Yeah. Like this? Like, yep, that's it.
And I was thinking to myself when I first watched it, I was like, wait, is he meta? You
same.
Wow.
Yeah, like keeping it back.
I was thinking that he was drawing something that he was like, oh no, Ashton saw it in the Malleus key, so he's drawing it, and then he pulls that out. I'm like, oh, you sneaky little fuck.
Exactly what I thought too. Yeah.
Well done, well played, sir. Yeah, always surprised.
Show me this thing. What is this thing? And he didn't mention it at the Malleus key.
Nope.
Either, but we as viewers, as fans of the second campaign, we did notice that thing.
Yeah, take proper note. That's how you role play. That's how you role play in D&D.
Yeah,
that's how you get away from the metagaming shit. It's like, no, you build these things into your backstory, and when they come up organically, naturally.
Yeah, man. Like thinking about a potential campaign 4 with let's just get through these assumptions that this world is going to be obliterated by the end of this campaign.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Just destroy it. It's okay. Just like in the first campaign with Iman. Sorry, everybody, spoilers. You know this by now. But then this one, the whole fucking world. So campaigns 4 would have to start with brand new lore. We don't know shit anymore, except for the gods, perhaps. But they could maybe make those up too. I don't know.
Could do. Might be a whole new pantheon.
It might be
wonderful.
Or there might be a whole different thing, different realm of. I don't know.
Maybe we go into a realm where there are no gods and there is no divinity, and divinity has to start over from scratch. That would be fun.
Because they got to do something somewhat familiar, but also different enough to keep fans and newbies alike interested. All right. Well, I'm gonna ESN kind of
do it.
Not even tangentially. This is something that hasn't really been bothering me, but when I think we mentioned it when what's his name, Chetney, he rolled like a 97 or something like that for his random dying on a long break, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if it was you and me talking here or if it was privately, where it's like that's nowhere close to what he needs to roll. It's not even close. 97 is nowhere near 100.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a couple of minutes here just to lay down how this works. Now,
okay, go.
A lot of people don't immediately understand that the opposite side of any die that you have add up to n+1. N
Yes.
being the number of faces on the die.
It's literally built into the patent for a what's the name? Polyhedral dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have a D6, you look at opposite sides, they will add up to N plus 1, which is 7, because it's a D6 plus 1, 7. And also, somebody has gone through very nicely to like surround like higher numbers with low numbers so that the excitement is there. So, like if you look at a 20, the numbers are 2, 8, and 14 next to a 20.
Yeah, and
so those numbers are close to 20.
There is a patent for that as well. There's a thing. There's a thing. Yes.
Yeah, and this is the proper
D20,
die.
Yes, the D20 is really neat because there's a map for it that I've seen where they unfold it.
Yeah,
and they make it they make it 2D. It's really cool.
Yeah, to see and the amount of effort and like I don't want to say engineering, but mathematics that go into it to keep the statistics right for the rolls to be truly random instead of weighted one way or the other. It's amazing. As a math person, I love this shit. So the stats are like, if somebody says like you needed a 20 to get this, like, oh, I got a 19, that was so close. No, if you rolled a 2, an 8, or a 14, that was close to 20. That would be close. Not 19. Yep. So using that knowledge with the D10s, it's the only one where sometimes something will be a 0, but when you have a roll, the dice never rolls a 0. It's either 1 or whatever the die is.
Yes.
So with a D100, it's either 1 or 100.
Yeah.
There is no 0. So if you get zeros on both of them, that's when Chetney dies.
That's the 100. Yep.
Yeah, and that's 100, not 0. It's 100.
Not 0, it's 100.
You cannot roll 0. You can only roll 1 to 100.
1 to 100, that's right.
So tier 1 closest to him dying would be right next to the D10s. You can get yours out right there. Is the 2 and an 8.
Right.
So the 4 closest numbers to him dying would be 2, 8, 20, or 80. If you rolled any of those would be the 4 closest to him dying. And that would be like, holy shit, that was really close. The next tier also has 4. It's any permutation of 2 and 8, 22, 28, 82, and 88. Because that would mean just one off on both die.
Oh, I see. So you're only looking at because the dice is diamond shaped, you're only looking at the one side of the diamond, not the other side.
I'm not looking at the other two across the sharp edge.
Okay.
Because that would be quite the flip. Because it's kind of got two sides. You got 5 on one and 5 on the other. I disregarded those. I disregarded the 5 and the 7.
Yep.
Because the edge was sharp. But you could take those into account, but it just changes the math a little bit. But and it's valid, of course. So that second tier has only 4, and then the third tier has 14, where it's like one of them is 0, but the other one is either 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. So that's 7, and then 9, switch it 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90.
2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So those are, what is that, 8 plus 14? So that's 22 closest rolls to it. Right. So if they roll, he did roll a 3 at some point.
I think he said he rolled a 2, like 002. I think it was 002. Yeah.
So that's incredibly close to a fucking thing.
Yes.
But do we know what he rolled this last time? Because they said, you're flirting with it.
You're flirting with it. He sort of, who knows? It could have been 90 something. It could have been 0 something. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been 7, which is not that close. But if one of them's a 0, they're all pretty close.
Yeah, it could. I mean, listen, man. As soon as that 00 comes up, you got a 1 in 10 chance of fucking dying.
Yeah,
right.
So statistically speaking, it's a 1 in 100 chance. Physically speaking, those are the rolls that are closest to him actually dying.
Yep. And I mean, you could get really, really weird about it, and you could say like the style of dice, if they're sharp edge dice or if they're rounded edge dice, could change things a little bit, because with a sharp edge dice it would be more difficult to get that flip to the other side, but with round edge dice it might be easier to get the flip to the other side.
I mean, like that sharp edge there on the side of the 100 is way shallower than, or way deeper than that right there.
Like my metal dice, the metal dice that I have, some of them, not all of them, a couple of pairs are rounded edge, but some of the metal dice I have are razor sharp, not razor sharp, but they're very close. You do not want it. Like, you could cut yourself if you run your finger down. They're very sharp. So it's like those would be much more difficult to flip than the round edge ones would be.
Right. When you would be more likely to come back instead of flip over. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, bang on, man. Well
yeah,
done.
so save that part if you ever have an argument with a GM or a DM or something like that.
Right.
Just like show them that part right there. They can argue with it all they want, but I'm sorry, I studied this shit. I'm, what?
Yep.
If you know some way that I'm full of shit, get in touch. But
yeah, sure.
That's the basic statistics and the
And
physics of
it goes along those same lines with rolling multiple 20s in a row. It's like the math. It's not statistically, the odds don't build when you roll. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Rolling a 20 and then a 20 and a 20 is exactly the same odds as rolling a 20, 20, 20. It's when you call them. And you need to roll them all. Yes. You're predicting it. Then the odds start jumping. That's when they do.
It goes exponential.
Yes.
At that
yeah,
point.
yeah, exponential. Yeah. So it's like like the fourth one is like statistically, you're way more likely to win all the lotteries at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Yep. Another one, everybody that paradox of flipping 10 heads in a row in a coin.
Yeah,
no, it's like calling 10 heads in a row.
Yes,
that's when it gets impossible.
Right. It's the calling.
Each one is 50-50, but calling it is
almost 50-50 because some coins are weighted differently.
Right.
Like American coins are heavier on the head side than they are on the tail side. Yeah. So,
slightly.
Marginally. But it does change the odds.
And you could say slightly for these dice too,
Probably.
like the one is a smaller thing than a 19.
Probably.
So like maybe the one is cut deeper, but I don't think they care that much about it. It's random enough, especially with the layout. It's random enough, which is why it's so patented,
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Hey, let's do another rollies.
I had to get that through because, it comes up a lot. It's like, how close was it? Did he actually come close to dying on the 2? That was so close.
It's the same superstition as dice jails. It's like, like, why the fuck do you have a dice jail? Oh, because the dice are cold.
I haven't heard that before. That's adorable, though.
This die needs a timeout. I'll put it in jail.
Right. It's like, you've been naughty. All right, rolling again. All right, here we go. With
12.
A 17. Look at that.
Hey,
I never expect that from this die. Oh, I didn't do my hierarchy here. Okay, yeah, my other 3, they're not super big things, but basically what you think. I'll just start from the top here. No, you know what? I'm going to go with the fan service angle. I don't know if my timestamp is exactly right, but I have written down here 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 7 seconds-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Keyleth, of all the other people that were at this discussion, she said, you can't just go up the Crimson Ladder. You don't know what's on the other side. My first thought went straight back to the ziggurat. When she touched it, but she rolled a nat 20 to not get sucked in.
To pull it together. Whoop. Nope,
yeah, because if that wasn't a nat 20, she would have gone in there and nobody would have known.
Somebody's learned some lessons.
Yeah, and I that's the first thing I thought of was like when she touched that, and I was like, that's some fan service. And I think that maybe that's why I loved this episode so much, because there's so much that we understand as fans of the previous campaigns.
It's a good thing there wasn't Ford saying it, because you're like, definitely go. You need to go up that. You need to go up that ladder right now. Yeah,
there's a much larger element of Travis and all of his characters than I'd say other people at the table.
Yeah, well, he's a gamer first and foremost. He's like, I'll find out what's behind that door. Push the button.
Maybe Sam number 2, but that's a quick point though. But it's a really cool, I think, fan service, and I'm hoping intentional to I keep saying fan service, but to make me happy as a big old fan.
That's a good one.
But yeah, if you didn't catch that, go back and check it out. And it's
I didn't make that connection. I remember she said that, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because Kiki's always been a little bit timid and stuff. But then I was like, oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. She almost got sucked into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I think she's been thinking about that.
That's where it went, right?
It was a transporter to somewhere. Was it Shadowfell?
Might have been the Shadowfell. I don't remember.
They never went to the Shadowfell, did they?
Oh yeah, absolutely they did. They went to they did. They went to they fought all kinds of Gloomstalkers there, and they went there in the it was the Shadowfell. Is that where that cigarette took them to? I don't remember where it took them to. I don't remember where she almost went to. Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. Huh. I don't have anything to yes and that. I mean,
we're all over the place. It's fine.
It's fine. There was some fun stuff. I really. Sure, I'll yes and that one, because I do have a point about that. I found it really, really, really fascinating that during that same sort of discussion, when they were talking about the the with the war room sort of a thing, right? They're in the war room and they're chatting, and Matt's playing Ebonol Kai, Villia, Keyleth, Allura, Percy. He's playing all of them. I found it absolutely fascinating that he dropped 4 big points, all of them which are relevant for something that is coming up, which is Abinol Kai was like, yeah, all of Marquette is uniting. All of the cities are all uniting together. Villia is like, yeah, Ludinus is recruiting across Exandria. Okay, so that means that everybody in Exandria needs to be getting ready. Marquette is right. Marquette is uniting, so now we need to get Wildmount and all the other places. Then Allura is like, the source of communication jamming is the Malleus Key. We know that. That's how we're not able to communicate with each other. Only Vasselheim is there, and there's a huge problem with that because the Rylorans can diminish divinity when they're close by. Then Keyleth says, the unbinding has disrupted things. The heroes are across the realm are busy. All of these things lead to the Mighty Nine reunion, which is happening this Thursday.
Nice.
All of them are all leading to that, which is my giant question. Is the Mighty Nine reunion going to be before the events of the Malleus Key or after? What do you think? What's your speculation?
There's a title for it already, isn't there?
Mighty Nine reunion. That's it.
I thought there was Mighty Nine reunion, and then there's
Echoes of the Solstice or something like that. Yeah,
the Solstice, right?
Right. So it's gonna be after. What
was it?
You think it's?
I was talking
Echoes,
when you said it.
I think
Echoes
it's called
of the
Echoes
Solstice?
of the Solstice. Yeah, I think
it's going to be in this time frame. But the thing
so
is,
that means that Caleb and Bo
exactly
are okay. They're going to be there.
You don't know that.
We don't know that. How did they escape? Are they going to be like? Did they escape? Were they rescued? Is that what the mission is?
They might need to go find them.
Is that what like the rest
for
of the
Grog?
Go, right. Okay. So.
Like he played Liev Tell, right? After, because Vax had died. So there was like this new person that worked for the Raven Queen or whatever.
Yes.
For the search for Grog, of course. Like Travis came in as Bertrand Bell.
Yeah, right. At 2 hours, 36:45, they start bringing up Caleb and Bo sighting with Allura. It's like, okay, this is sort of a big point for me. This episode was taped probably not too long ago, a week or two ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago at most. They do the taping. 100% guaranteed Matt has to fill the cast in on what their character, the Mighty Nine, know, because they're going to be playing them live in London this week. So he has to let them know what they know and what they've been doing and what they know about everything.
Good point.
Which means they do know some things. So do they know those things when this episode is filmed?
No,
right?
Well, no. So, I mean, sorry. The players, maybe, sure. I think Matthew would tell them maybe just the couple of days coming up to the show, which is live on Thursday.
Which is now. So today is Tuesday. So maybe this week he starts letting them know. They sit down. They have a meeting. Maybe they have a meeting before they go to London. Or on the plane, maybe. No, not a chance. They would have the meeting beforehand. They would talk about it. Then they would have another meeting when they land. It's like, okay, this is what this episode is going to be about. This is what your characters are going to do. This is where they're going to go, and they're going to do these things. This is a one shot, right? And potentially this leads into the big arc that's coming up, where Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, and Bell's Hells all meet to take out Predathos.
Yeah. I just had a thought. Man, I had a few thoughts. I hope I don't forget the other one.
Go.
Hold on. I got to write it down real quick.
So my big question is this actually going to be will this Mighty Nine reunion be happening before or after? And you're saying the time of
Echoes of the Solstice. I mean, I think it's going to be
I
concurrent.
hope we're getting that right. I hope it's called the Echoes of the Solstice. I think it
sounds right. Because I'm pretty sure Solstice was in the title. And when I saw that, I think it was during the break, like last episode. I skipped through this break. But it sounds right. You checking it out right now?
I am. I'm looking it up. Right. M9. Oh, that's weird. Reunion. Critical Role.
Can you imagine this? Like
Echoes of the Solstice. We nailed it.
There it is. Can you imagine
Wednesday,
getting on
25th
this?
October.
What was the date again?
25th of October, so tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Damn.
And then so it'll be it's going to be live. Then they're going to show it in theaters, and then we will get it on the weekend. So, yeah, we'll be able to watch it. I'm really hoping I get to watch it on Friday night. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it comes out on Twitch on Friday.
Yeah, Campaign 2's got a real special place, you know.
I know. It's like I said, it's my favorite of the three. Yeah. I've said it many times, and I'll continue to say it. It's my favorite of the three. I love the characters more than, as a whole, I love the characters more than I like the characters in the other shows, in the other campaigns.
Yeah, it was we've talked about it before, but like the first one was like, just archetypes of their own persons. The second one, wildly different, and then the third one, different again.
Different again, yeah.
Just a quick thought. Can you imagine like, hey, I'm going to go see them live in London, so we hop on a plane, and as we're walking through first class, you see the whole fucking cast right there. Like, hey,
that'd be pretty amazing. Yeah,
and they'd be like, who the fuck are you? Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Going back real quick to what Matthew has, all these characters that he's playing, and he's keeping all of their personalities and their accents in order.
Yep.
And you can see him when he's doing it. He's looking down at paper, you know, but he's continuing the act, but he's got a script for this shit, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is kind of, you know, predictable that this would happen, you know, because they sent all these tinkerers to this place to figure out what this funnel's going to do. So, yeah, and all these people are going to get together. So, of course, he has some things that he has to get down, but he doesn't know what the people are going to ask.
No.
You know, so he's got the script, but he's also able to respond. It's just incredible, man.
It never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah,
it never ceases to amaze me. His ability to step into these NPCs' shoes.
And he's doing this dressed as Gandalf the Great.
Yeah. Listen, man, when Dancer
with his side mustache.
Yeah. When Dancer and FCG have their little heart to heart, and it's fucking Gandalf and Gimli, I was killing myself. I'm like, what am I watching right now? I'm watching Gandalf the Grey and Gimli, son of Gloin, have a heart to heart as Dancer and FCG. It was just so fucking weird. Weird.
Both times I was cycling, so I didn't see it, but you gotta picture
weird.
it. I loved how Ashley started laughing because the beard on Gandalf was a little bit on the side, and when I watched it on my ride home, I was like, "Oh shit, that is pretty good," because he looks like it. It looked pretty funny. We're back to rollers. I got two pretty small points here.
Okay, I got a couple. I want one I want to say right now, so I'm going to win this one.
All right, with an 11. Give it a shot. With an 11, I'll get lower. It's the 4 die. 3.
Yeah, there we go. I want to quickly talk about this fucking artifact that they got. So this, honestly, I just want to say right off the bat. So it's called a great name. So he called it. These things would be.
He gave a couple of names, right?
They would normally be called power stills, but the this one is called. Allura gave it the name the quintessence array.
Yeah.
So it does 6 things, 7 things, kind of 6 things. So the common item, basically you put a thing near it and a bunch of things happen. So can I run through them real quick?
Go for it.
Common item, 5 temporary hit points. Uncommon item, 10 temporary hit points. Rare item, +2 permanent hit points, and attack rolls and ability checks have advantage until a long rest. Very rare item, +5 permanent hit points. Attack rolls, ability checks, and saves at advantage until a long rest. A legendary item, +2 to any ability score. Fucking monstrous. Now it also is like some powerful items may bestow additional benefits. I'm assuming that's up to the DM, right? Like that's going to be DM discretion shit. Mm-hmm. That's what it does with items. If creatures touch it, for 1 minute, magical essence drawn from them for 24 hours, and a unique benefit on the wearer until a long rest. If the creature touches it for 1 hour, they are destroyed, and the wearer gains a permanent benefit. Depends on, I'm assuming, I wrote down a couple of assumptions. I'm assuming that depends on the creature, the CR of the creature, whatever that may be. It's like that's going to be DM discretion stuff.
It says depends on the creature, but that depends on the DM is basically what that means.
Of course it does, yeah, right, exactly. Can only be used once per long rest, and if it's used more than once in every 24 hours, there's a 20% chance that it breaks cumulatively.
Oh, the long rest and the 24 hours were deliberately
Different.
separately stated.
Yes, deliberately separate.
Oh, I didn't catch
Yeah.
that. I thought
So
they were
we
long
use
rest.
once for long rest, and if you use it more than once per 24 hours, there is a 20% chance it will be cumulative 20% chance. So 20%, then 40%, then 60%. Right?
Maybe that's what happened to this one.
Could be. That's maybe why. Maybe although maybe possibly.
Because they had to put it back together. So.
I'm just going to call it right now. This is the most powerful artifact that this Critical Role has ever seen. I'm gonna say this is more powerful than the deck of many things that Grog found. It is. It honestly is more powerful because this in the hands of a shitty person, the deck of many things is only the cards can only be used once and then they're gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. And if you draw them, then you draw a shitty one. It's yeah.
Wait, the card is gone, not the deck.
The card is gone. Sorry, the card is gone.
Okay.
Yes.
Whew, yeah.
This thing
Otherwise,
can be theoretically used forever.
Unless you get greedy and fuck it up.
Well, but you don't. But why would you ever do that? Like you just keep every couple of days you use it. You go out. You do what Ludinus did.
You could get addicted to it, and there's things there. You go
to the Feywild. You capture a bunch of things. You entangle them. You murk them, and then you just draw all their powers over a course of a few weeks, and you become invincible.
Yeah,
and this is by far and away the most powerful artifact that they've ever seen. Way more powerful than every one of the vestiges. Honestly, way more powerful.
But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it could turn these vestiges into, those are legendary items. It turns into permanent stat points. It kind of reminded me of way back in the day when I played Magic the Gathering. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of a card that was incredibly valuable, but it wasn't immediately understood why. Like Black Lotus was like the most valuable card because it adds you tap it and adds 3 of any color mana to your pile and then it's discarded. Okay. I'm like, that's not that great, but when you actually play, it's insanely OP. For like whatever it is you want to cast of any color of your choice, it's insane.
Okay.
But it's it's not immediately obvious. With this thing right here, it's not immediately obvious. Oh, it only raises something by 2. And then again, it's not 1 and 1. It's like one thing by 2, according to how they stated it.
It's not about it. The items are amazing and they're very cool, but that's for lawful characters. For chaotic characters, evil characters, it's all about the creatures.
It's fuck everything
all about
up.
The creatures.
Yeah, of course.
So I immediately had this thought. It was like, wait, okay, so it siphons items. What happens when this is the portable hole inside the bag of holding dilemma? What happens when you siphon a siphon?
Well, it's an artifact. You can't.
Right. So, but they could build another one. They built this one. So if they build another quintessence array, what happens when they siphon that one?
They can't. It's an artifact. The siphon cannot absorb artifacts.
Doesn't say that.
It does. They said that. Matthew said, and artifacts are a different category beyond legendary items, so it does not do artifacts. I think it's the first thing it stated. I think it was the first one.
When they were maybe I missed that, but
I'm pretty sure on this one, but I could be wrong.
I remember him. Laura was asking, "What are the things?" And Matt was like explaining.
She was like, "What's a wondrous item?" Yeah.
Right, a wondrous item is this, whatever. That's what it is. And then she's like, "No, the artifact is." And of course, I know, that's artifact is the top. It's another level above. I don't remember him saying that you can't do that with this, but maybe.
I'm pretty sure they did, but I might be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Okay. Hey. I'll take it. But I was just like, this is hands down the most, and that's the reason why Alora's like, you have to promise me that we will return this when you're done. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, because I don't think you could use it on a beacon, because that's an artifact, right?
Probably.
The Lux and beacons, right?
I mean, wouldn't the shard be an artifact as well? Wouldn't they be artifacts?
Is it a legendary enchanted item? I don't know.
They're not legendary because like the Holy Avenger, the sword, that's a legend. That's a legendary item. It's not an artifact. There's many of them around.
Yeah.
Like those. So there's only one shard of Kamort. There's only one shard of Raishan. So they'd be artifacts as well. But they're literally going to try that tomorrow. Next episode. So
is the crystal is that an artifact or not?
Has to be.
If it's gonna, maybe if they try it, it's just not gonna work. And all this shit that they're trying to do, it's like, I guess we had the wrong idea.
So then,
interesting. If artifacts don't work, And I'm starting to doubt myself, but I'm pretty sure they said it, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong multiple times before.
Hey, if you are aware that we are full of shit, that's what this is for.
Yeah, I always point in the wrong spot. It's always
I think it's
towards my mic.
I'm over
there. It is. Yeah, towards the mic down there. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, cool. Fuck, I was gonna say something else. Damn it.
Yeah, that was mine. What do you got? Yes, and.
Okay, I'm gonna yes and with this.
Do it.
Speaking of this artifact that we're talking about here, what do you think? They have this Ludinus's map of X's.
Yeah.
Now, there's something I'm just kind of curious about, and I'd like to know your opinion on it. It's like, do you think that this little map that he has with these X's on it was like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, and then do the thing, and then cross it off when I'm done? Or is he just going to travel around and when he uses the thing, put an X on the map afterwards?
My take was that on that map, there were very powerful beings that resided there.
That was my initial thought.
And he went and got them. And those powerful beings no longer exist.
That was my initial thought.
And that's why he's 700 plus years old.
Right. That was my initial thought as well, but I also had thought, like, if these things are really that powerful and these kind of legendary creatures or whatever, a lot of times, I guess in these stories, they do kind of sit in the same place, like avocado, and like these trees or whatever, and they're in a place, you can find the sphinxes, right?
Yes.
And dragons have their layers, I suppose, But other things move around, like Vox Machina members. They're pretty fucking legendary, right?
Yeah, they would be, but I don't think he would be going that far. I was thinking more like you remember when they encountered the werewolves in the Feywild, and the leader, and he would go after like the leader of the alpha of the whatever, and something along those lines, like a dryad, a nymph, a leader of a queen dryad or something. Yeah. Not like really, really high level, but not low level, somewhere in the middle.
But also variety, Yeah. Try one of these, try one of these, see what happens,
Right.
And I don't know how many X's, if anybody said, are on that map, but could be a ton, right?
Could be.
But it was a food for thought. I was like, okay, that was my thought too. But what if it was just he marked off where he did it, and and it could have a different story element to it, why he would just wander around and then be like, oh, so yeah, I did it here, I did it here. Maybe it doesn't work in certain places. Maybe I don't know. Like it was more experimental than guided, right?
This is one of those. This is like just pure speculation, right? With no idea. It's fun to speculate about these things, but it's could be that, could be this, could be this, could be that.
Yeah.
Rollies.
I got one more.
We're
up to an hour here.
I got a couple of small ones, but I got one more big one.
Sure, let's do it.
4
with a 19. Look at this thing. It's doing all right.
All right today. Worm has turned.
Can you remind us how tiefling children get made? Because they did tell us in campaign 2, and I forgot.
Yeah, they get made. It was funny. That was a fun meta question. I like that. They were like, "Hey, do we know how that?" And she's like, "Roll."
But you should, because you played it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's right. They get tieflings get made by something in the character or the person, whatever the being's past was influenced by a demon or devil. That's sort of where
like
it
pact
happened.
Or something like that, right?
It could be. That's definitely one way. It could have been. It could have been. There's a lot of different ways in the DMG. It sort of like leaves that open, but it has to be it's specifically a dealing that that happened one way or another, whether it was by a product of really shitty things or a bargain or a pact or an influence somewhere, a visit by somebody, a something, and it manifests later in the bloodline as a tiefling.
Sorry, I just heard a squealing, and I had my headphones plugged in, and as soon as I unplugged it, the squealing changed pitch.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah. Sorry, I was listening though.
Feedback of somewhere. So this is our what's his name? Artax.
The one he did the deal with?
The deal with in the gun. To make the gun, right?
Oh, Orthax.
Orthax? Orthax, that sounds right. Yes,
something like that. The Horn of Orcus, then Orthax was the guy.
Artax, Orthax, something along those lines. So this is Gwendolyn is the product of that relationship that Percy severed, that Scanlan severed. Who threw the gun in the acid? Scanlan did.
Scanlan, yeah.
Right. Scanlan severed that from Percy, but the lineage remains. So Gwendolyn is a tiefling.
Okay, got rid of it. So the remnants of that pact or agreement or relationship is why she's a tiefling.
Manifest into the children, and could continue. Could be like the grandchildren. There could be one tiefling as well. Now the Derolo line.
Fucking cool, man.
As far as I know,
awesome.
that's totally up to Matt, right? Like that's completely up to him.
Yeah,
but it would be
his decision to do that is amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's a constant reminder. There's a yin and yang to this, right? It's like, yes, this is how tieflings are made. It's also a constant reminder to Percy every time he looks at her that he made a deal with the devil.
Yeah. He also made that other pact that he never called upon with that other demon or devil. I don't remember which one it was.
That was in the city of
the city of Dis? That wasn't City of Dis.
Dis. Yeah.
I don't City of Dis is in the Seven Hells? It's one of the hells?
Probably. I don't remember.
Or was that
I can't
the fire
remember
plane?
those specifics.
Fuck, I don't remember either. But he did make a deal, and it's like, if you choose to do this, then this will happen. Like, you can call upon us an army, but at that point your soul is mine.
Right.
But he never did it in play, but he thought about it to save someone's life or something. Remember?
Yeah, something.
That's where I went with it. I forgot about Orthax and the gun. But
yeah, well, that's where, anyway, that's a quick thing. That's where that. So again, like, up to the DM's discretion, up to the player's backstory. Players who want to play tieflings can have the backstory. I mean, like, think about Jester, right? Like, her mom was a tiefling, so she is a tiefling. Even though her dad is the gentleman who was a water genasi, no, she's just a straight up tiefling. So that's sort of like
spoilers there.
That's sort of like that's just a backstory thing, but that's how canonically they are made. And again, that's you don't take agency away from players ever by making them play one thing or another. It just doesn't work. You can provide limits because of campaign settings, and you can be like, listen, that's not really going to work because the campaign setting is this, and you guys wanted to play this campaign setting, so you can't really be. Although we had a weird one. We're playing an Underdark campaign. And in a shattered planet, and the DM's brother showed up, and he was he played a character from the Astral Sea guidebook that they just released. Remember, we were talking about this one bunch of months ago about when they released it and they had to take away some of it because one of the characters were space primates, and they had to pull those space primates because they were borderline very racist and whatever. Wizard Watsy's they changed it. But anyway, my buddy, he came in as one of the races from that book, which makes absolutely no sense for our campaign. But the DM was like, "Hey man, you want to do it? It's fucking cool. Do it. It's fun."
Yeah, why not?
It was very weird. Quick note on Gwen. Quick one.
Yeah. It's your yes and time.
Well, no, this is my S end is going to be a different one. This is just a quick one. When they're talking to Gwen from behind the door, when the three witches are talking to her, and as they leave, Fern slides the Eyes of Charming under the door.
Yeah.
I don't know where she got those from. Must have been EXU because I do not remember those. But those fucking things are dangerous for a 12-year-old. Or a 10-year-old, or however old Gwen is. 3 times, these are little contact lenses. I had to look this up because I was like, what are these things?
I thought nothing of it because I didn't know what they were.
Pretty good idea what they are, but I looked it up and I was like, what the fuck? This is not a child should have thing. 3 times per day, you can cast Charm Person with them.
Oh, God.
Fucking chaos monkey.
Well, Her Highness,
What are you doing? I mean,
she can charm her parents, her siblings.
It's a DC 13. Guaranteed, she's not going to be able to charm their parents because they're legendary characters at this point.
But they know if you've tried, right?
I believe so. Yes,
with charms, right?
Yes.
But they could charm siblings and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Of course, you would charm her siblings.
Oh yeah, and that's gonna. Woo. If she gets, or the servants of the castle, or a pale guard, or oh dear Jeebus, dangerous shit. I laughed. I'm like, okay, that's a dangerous thing to give a little kid.
It's going to come back around pretty quick if she figures out how
does.
to do them, you know?
I hope
Because like, she has to try them to understand how they work, right?
Yeah. Well, you just put them in. You just wear them, and then you're attuned to them, and you're like, oh, I know what these do. Like yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works, right?
Yep. It's how in D&D. That's how attunement works.
I actually do have one more thing to say, but after, go ahead. You can do your.
Well, no, I want to talk real quick about the two visions that we got. First off, Chet, Orm, and Ashton in the Raven Queen Temple, and then FCG at the Horizon Temple. All four of these. So Chet, Orm, and Ashton get a fucking visit to the Raven Queen with the Raven Queen. A lot of imagery there. Some of it I did not understand. I was like, I don't understand what Matt is playing at with what the Raven Queen is telling them. I'm like, this is weird. The shackles, I didn't really understand the shackles.
I didn't get the imagery. And when she breaks up into a million ravens, I didn't get that either.
One giant raven breaks into it, and they pull up on the shackles. Why is she shackled?
Because they get sucked in.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
There was some weird imagery there that I was trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, a lot of it is up for interpretation. I get it. The Queen of Death is being shackled by death because her champion is gone. That's why the revivify resurrection spells don't work right now. So because her champion is being held prisoner. Is like I don't know. It's all again. I don't know. I'm just like merely speculating.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
FCG with the Changebringer with the bleeding eyes, like why is it? Because the red eyes or the red are Predathos, the red moon? Is this like what is? A lot of this was very. I don't know.
With the Changebringer, I could imagine that when the tears were red. You know, and as they said, the gods are all kind of distracted right now. They're just like, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm focusing on this. It's like, what do you need? You know, like a busy teacher, you know, like, sorry, what do you need? Go ahead, you know, ask your question. And then the moment that the teacher puts down the keyboard and puts the mouse down, turns to the student, that's when the tears turn back to water. Right. Because they're looking at the kid now. Yeah. That was the impression I got.
Nice. Okay. I don't know.
With Raven Queen, I had no fucking clue.
Yeah. I believe Matt was the imagery was the shackles were that, oh yeah, no, I can't really do anything because my champion is being imprisoned right now.
But they were loose shackles, you know?
It's weird.
Were they loose because they just climbed up them and then she was like, okay, now they're gone. They were
dangling from her wrists. Once you're out of the hole, then you can do your thing. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I didn't understand any of that, but I was just curious what your thoughts on it were.
Maybe Matthew left it super vague because he is a very good artist and he will come up with something that will come back into it, you know, because he's good at that shit. He's good at improvising. He's good at writing, and he's good at tying back. What do they call that in comedy? The callback. He's good at that shit.
Yeah, very. Yeah, he plays the long game better than any DM. It's one of his big things, right? That long game.
Yeah,
it's very good. That's it. I'm done. I got nothing. Right. Weird crepe experience under the sun tree. That's with Andrew. That was a fun way to end this episode. They were all killing themselves laughing about it.
I loved it when Laura asked, like, wait, were there maybe other Andys? It's like, yeah, there are like 3 other Andys, and I'm Andrew. And everybody loses it. They're like, oh shit. Thanks. You any more, Karen?
So
A great all right, stand by the sun tree.
I gotta walk the dog. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, let's wrap this up. I have one more thing to say. Off the top of your head, what was the date that I actually came down and watched the first episode with you in your old apartment?
October
23rd? 21st?
Something like that. It was right about now. Are we like on an anniversary date?
We're at 10/24.
Hey, happy anniversary-ish.
Happy anniversary-ish.
2 years?
I'm thinking now, is it 2 or 3? It's got to be 2, right? Can't be 3.
I actually have a book I wrote over on the bookshelf way over there. I have a book where I wrote down our initial meeting. So we could really easily find out what date the first episode of Campaign 3 was.
Yeah.
Like we watched it on the Friday. Oh, man.
I think I got it right here. Oh, wow.
October 22nd, 2021.
Wow.
We're 2 days off the anniversary.
Happy anniversary, man.
Hey. It was October 21st in the States, which makes it October 22nd here.
Yeah. Episode 3 was the 30th. Yeah. So that's 2 weeks afterwards.
Yep.
Well, hey, happy anniversary, dude.
Hey.
Happy 2 years. I'm glad we've been doing this for 2 years. I'll have to come back down, catch an episode with you sometime soon, eh?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, come and crash at the. We have a spare bedroom, although there's no bed in it. There's a sofa, and you can always crash on the sofa behind me or whatever. I pull out a mattress. Might even set up a hammock in the place for you somewhere.
Hammocks are good for one night for about 6 hours.
Oh man, you haven't slept in my hammocks.
Your new one or your any
all of them. They're specifically designed for sleeping. They're asymmetrical, so they don't. Well, my camping hammock is asymmetrical. It has a no. This one has box shape. So the ridge line goes this way, and there's a box here and a box there. So there's like this thing where you lie perfectly horizontal on it. It's a floating bed.
Man, can I charge my phone in it?
Sure.
I can pretend. All right, shit. Well, then let's get this out of here. It looks like she really doesn't look like she has to pee, but I'm pretty sure
she definitely does. She's a patient
really blends in with that little bed there.
Yeah, she loves it.
All right, cool. Well, then let's see. Follow Ben on socials, Ben Greenspoon on everything. Follow me, drummatucka, on Instagram. I've got a show this weekend here in Taichung at this place called The Roo. We're doing a Halloween show there, kind of taming it down. Weekend after that is Compass Food Fest here in Taichung again. I don't know when we're playing, but we usually play last. And then the weekend after that, a Take It Down, Take It Easy show. Still not yet confirmed at a place called In the Alley. So get in touch with me on Instagram if you want those. I have pre-sale tickets for this weekend. Oh shit, 500 from
Halloween.
me, 800 at the door. Halloween show. Come dressed up. You might win something.
Hey,
catch some good music. There's us and then a DJ. So we're taking it.
Us in Kaohsiung, we're doing Reggie Rocks for Halloween on Saturday night. So that's our big Halloween show.
Yeah,
I won't be playing, unfortunately, but yeah, I will be there.
If you ever met that guy Reggie, I think you would be there. Yep. The guy's a fantastic human being.
Yeah, a gem of a human.
Absolutely. And go and support him if you're in the area, for sure. And I believe that's it for me, man. If nothing else.
That's it.
All right. Don't forget to love each other. And is it finally Friday? Peace, everybody. We'll see you next week, right?
Peace. Yeah. Are we going to do a thing next week? Let's talk about that because it's the Mighty Nine reunion tour. We'll see.
Yeah, we may or may not be back next week, but there is something definitely awesome happening this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So
if it's
is it
100%.
Friday? Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Peace.
Peace.